Don't bullshit. Don't lie. I was somebody when I was living the addictive lifestyle that lost track of the amount of lies that I was telling. So I would go into conversations with people thinking, fuck, what did I tell this person before? Trying to remember what I'd said, so I'm not being truthful in any way at all. So give is about respect for others. Fast is about respect for self. And the thing about using give and fast is that they're ways of being, right? So I'm gonna kind of fluctuate back and forth between give and fast, maintaining respect for others and maintaining respect for myself inside of the conversations, using that dear and man approach in the way that I'm communicating. And I just want to be clear, like I said in the beginning, this sounds really easy, but when we first start doing it, it's not easy and it is incredibly clunky and mechanical. But the more we practice it, the more organic it becomes.
Okay, and if I can use it one word to simplify everything that you just described, I would say remain positive in the
Yeah,
discussion.
positive communication. Yeah.
Okay, so why is it my responsibility to be the positive person in this communication? Why is it so important, I guess, that I remain positive through this process?
Well, it's not about you maintaining positivity. I think quite often people think that positive communication means that you've always got to have a positive point of view. Positive communication just means, basically following that deer approach where you know what your objective is and you're sticking to to what the objective is, maintaining an outlook that isn't filled with blame for others. Positive communication is all about owning what it is that you feel, what it is that you want. So it falls into that kind of deer approach, and not getting into the negative space of blaming other people. And the reason why that's my responsibility is because that's who I want to be. That's the life I want to live. Right. And I can sit in a space of blaming other people for my emotional state, but it's just not effective. It's just not effective for me to live the life I want to live and be the person I want to be. When I take accountability and I'm the one that is communicating from that, I'm not being aggressive. I was one of the kings of passive aggressive communication and sarcasm before I started doing this work, because I was just kind of raised in an environment that's the primary way that we used to communicate. I'm from England, so yeah. Sorry, I don't want to knock English people or anything.
No, but the thing is, sorry, but I want to ask that facetious question. How's that working for you? But
It doesn't.
It's like, but did it? Because,
No.
well, I would think if you were to say a bunch of sarcastic stuff that would be in a way to push me away, it would work on pushing me away. But I'd
Yeah,
also
but
have
is that who I want to be, and is that what I really want?
So this is the interesting thing about it, is
Yeah.
when we talk about efficacy, we're talking about, once again, to be the person we want to be inside the relationships that are most important to
In
us,
the areas of life that are important to us. Yeah.
right? So what is then, when we talk about boundary setting here,
Yeah.
because passive aggressiveness can work, right? Like that's
Yeah.
why
So can
people do it,
aggressiveness in the
right?
short term.
This is the issue. Okay, so how do we evaluate how we're setting? Because I love everything coming together here. Dear man being used in a way by applying give and fast, and recognizing that a boundary isn't rigidly set in place, black, white, we put it there. We've got to remember how we're putting it there. So how do we evaluate if what we're doing when setting a boundary is following this skill set?
Yeah. So boundary setting, the thing to understand about boundaries, and there's a couple of different things that I want to say about setting boundaries. The thing to understand about boundary setting is it's got very little to do with the other person. It's got everything to do with, let's say I'm setting a boundary, right? So I'm going to talk about it in terms of me. But if you were talking about this, you'd be talking about it in terms of you. So um, if I'm setting a boundary with somebody, it's everything to do with me and my values and beliefs, and very little to do with the other person and anything to do with them. It's got a lot to do with their behavior and the way that they're behaving in the environment, because they are crossing one of my boundaries. In other words, they're doing something that's compromising my values and beliefs. So boundaries are all about values and beliefs, in my opinion. So living the life I want to live, being the person I want to be in the areas of life that are important to me according to my true, authentic values and beliefs. That's kind of like the overarching theme that we've got for doing this type of work. So values and beliefs underpin everything. They are. It is super, super important that we know what our values and beliefs are, what it means to be the person that we want to be, what expectations we have on other people when we're building this support network and creating the tribe and the village around us. Whether those expectations are realistic, because that is how we set boundaries. So inside of the relationship, if I have a boundary around honesty, let's say, right? Because I believe in a relationship that I should be honest with you, unless it's going to compromise the safety of me or somebody that I care about. And in a reciprocating relationship, that standard also applies to you. I believe that you should be honest with me, unless it's going to compromise the safety of yourself or somebody else that you care about. Right? Let's just put that out there as being the belief around honesty in this type of relationship. And then you start telling lies to me. And I know that you're telling lies. Even if I just think that you're telling lies to me, I can now have a conversation using dear to establish what's going on. Right? So, hey, I just want to talk to you about this. I'm just going to make this up. Hey, I want to talk to you about the situation, Aaron, where the conversation that we had yesterday. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there's a part of me that feels like, it wasn't exactly truthful the way that went. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just, when there's a part of me that feels that way, I think it's just important to address it, because assert my wishes, because it's really not cool with me when people are being dishonest and they lack truthfulness, because for me, that's a really important value. And I believe that we should be honest with each other wherever it's possible. And I think for you inside of this relationship, in order for us to keep building this relationship moving forward, that would be something that would be helpful for you too. So can we have a conversation about whether that was truthful or not? I don't know, I just kind of used the dear expression and followed the man kind of guidelines to pretend having a conversation with you about that. Right. But that's that's my initial step of setting a boundary. I'm highlighting the fact that I feel like there was something that happened here, and I'm setting a boundary with you around how that's not good. Okay, so now if I find out later on that that's happening again, I'm going to step that up. So I'm now maybe going to go into if-then statements. But I'm still using it inside of the Dear Man philosophy.
The clip you just watched was taken from the upcoming podcast, A Conversation for Liberation. If you like the content of this clip, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button and turn on the notifications so you can stay up to date with when each full episode gets released. As always, if you want to know more about what we do at the Liberation Place, come join the live online meetings that I facilitate each week for free on Zoom. I'll leave a link to the page containing more information about these groups in the description below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Take care, be safe and be well.